Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Distance Dilemma podcast with me, Sean Finn, and my good friend Imran Malikmar. 2 weeks on the bounce, and after getting that,
Let's go.
let's go, boys.
Maybe we should start 1 week where we don't say the second names. I think like after 5 episodes now we can be like,
Yeah.
okay,
Folks
people know us now. We're big time.
Yeah, well, like you're in our houses, like especially if you're watching on video, like so you don't address like Sean Finn can have a cup of tea, Sean Finn can have a glass of water, like you don't say. Imran, get me a bomb. But yeah, we're back. We missed a week 2 weeks ago, so we're 2 weeks in the bounce again. How's your week been?
It's good. Just kind of working away. Been doing a lot of German this week, just trying to get the hang of that. And then last night I watched the movie with Nicola, which you I think know already which one I watched. So
Yeah, this is what I was. This is kind of one of the first things I wanted to bring up like properly. So you watched one of my favorite films that you hadn't seen, and yeah. So for those of you that obviously everybody else that doesn't know, Imran watched The Greatest Showman for the first time last night, and I love The Greatest Showman. I saw it like 3 or 4 times when I was in the cinema, and yeah, it's a comfort film. So what were your thoughts on it?
Well, you know already that I don't like musicals. So, as a movie alone, without the singing, I thought it was good. I thought it was a good storyline about how he went from like in a really bad, poor situation to making it to the heights that he wanted to, and then that to come crashing down, and then to realize like what was important, his family, and then to get back into the circus. And I thought that part of maybe it's been out like what 5 or 6 years, like
Longer. I think it was 2016, so 10 years.
I think I was saying to Nicola, I was surprised that I knew some of the songs.
Oh yeah,
from
like the
radio
soundtrack
times.
for that was
it
has been everywhere. Like it's one of the biggest musicals of the 2020s, like not 20 the 21st century. Like it's massive. Like.
Yeah, I'd say there was like 2 of the songs that I actually enjoyed. I don't know. I'm just not into musicals. I've realized that it's the one like genre and category of movies that I would never go to watch by myself. But I did enjoy the movie, so I'd say for me.
Would you watch it again? Would you revisit it?
I wouldn't sit down by myself to watch it again. But if it was on and my mate wanted to watch it, I'd be like, yeah, no matter, like go watch it. That kind of way.
Okay.
But I can understand why people enjoy the movie. Like if you're into musicals, I can see why people would like the story the way it was created.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. It's one of
that does not seem like the answer you wanted. You wanted me to be like, it was the best movie ever.
I wanted it to be like, I wanted it to be like the turning point for you for like maybe I'll give some more musicals a go because I love musicals. I think musicals are great, but I get why people don't like musicals as well. Like I think when people think of musicals, they I think especially this is a problem with lads who like won't watch musicals. Like I find this quite a lot with like proper like football lads, and they like when you try and say, oh, you should try and watch The Greatest Showman, you should try and watch like Hamilton, or you should try and watch Wicked or something like that. They go, oh no, like Jesus, that's a girly thing, blah blah. Man, musicals are deadly. Once if you're like give them a shot, because I think a lot of people think musical and they think High School Musical or Hairspray or Les Mis, and don't get me wrong, they're like they're definitely the most like aggressive in terms of like campiness and in terms of kind of flamboyance and color and stuff, like and I get that, but like when you like get like a bit more into it, like when you watch The Greatest Showman's not a deep cut by any means, but one of my favorite films, like full stop, is a musical. It's called Tick Tick Boom with Andrew Garfield. Have you seen that?
I haven't watched the whole thing. I watched like half of it and I had to go off and do something, so I must go back to it. But I heard good things about that as well.
It's top 4 letterbox for me. I recently swapped it in for Whiplash because I was just thinking
also a good movie.
Oh, class. Because like I was just thinking like, okay, right, I was looking at my top 4, and my top 4 before I put Tick Tick Boom in there was it was Sing Street, which is my favorite movie, as you know. The Incredibles, class.
Oh, yeah.
The Batman, also just a phenomenal film. And I had Whiplash in there, but I was kind of like thinking, as much as I love Whiplash, and I watch Whiplash probably like once every year or two, like it's one of the films I've seen the most in my life. I was just thinking like the way I resonate with Tick Tick Boom and everything about it, like not just the film, but like the character, the story arc. I love the cinematography. It's not too complicated. Like whereas like one of the things that's great about Whiplash is it's very, the cinematography of it is incredible, and the way they play with camera angles and the way Damien Chazelle works with the direction and how Miles and J.K. deliver their performances, like it's insane. But it's not like it's nothing to do with what kind of like me personally. I don't feel that that's a film that reflects me. It's just a great film, like So I was just like, I think Tick Tick Boom represents who I am a bit better as a person. And I was devastated Andrew didn't win an Oscar for it. He was never going to. I knew going into that year, it was 2019, he was up against Joaquin Phoenix for Joker. There was not a chance he was winning the Oscar. But he got and he also was up against Bryan Cranston. That was a great year for lead actor nods. So like I was devastated that like he just wasn't in with a chance. Like it's not it was like we saw it and we are like, yeah, like no, Joker, he's like Joaquin was taking that home comfortably, like Easily. But yeah, I would love you especially to watch that and also watch Hamilton as well.
You've been talking to me to watch Hamilton for years, just because there's a lot of.
I think you would love Hamilton. I really do.
You were saying there's like a lot of like hip hop and rap references, like
the whole thing is hip hop and rap, like start to finish.
Which is like my favorite genre, so I'd probably be really into that. It's funny though because we were saying about the musicals. Because growing up, one of my favorite movies was The Wizard of Oz. Like I remember that being on like the what's it called, VCR. That's the where you put the boxes in. I can't think of the name. I think it's VCR.
Video,
like Dara used.
That's not video. Tapes.
Tapes. Yeah. We sound like millennials right now. So I watched that and Toy Story 1 and Toy Story 2, and Dari had like them three only in his house that were kids movies, and I just watched them back to back to back to back. And it's funny because like Wizards of Oz and The Sound of Music are probably like the two oldest musicals that like in the general public people would know.
Yeah.
And Nicola actually watched Sound of Music last week with two of her friends, and she loved it. And then last night we were actually having a debate about the Batman because she hasn't seen the Batman or the Dark Knight.
Oh, wow!
And I'm like, you're like, we could go back to back and watch now.
While I'm like, how you have you not seen? I'm actually also a little bit jealous that she gets to experience those films for the first time. Do you ever get a bit of that? Like, I wish I could go. I remember me and you going to see the Batman opening weekend. It was me, you, and Jack. I think we went to go and see it.
Yeah,
and like I remember being, I remember you guys weren't as like sold on it straight away. Whereas like I was coming out of the cinema going, that was like a masterpiece. Like and like it's tells because like it's still one of my favorite films. Like I've watched it like once or twice a year since it's come out, and it's only been out like 2-3 years.
I watched it the first time with you and Jack, and I thought it was really good. But I was like, it's not better than The Dark Knight. Then I rewatched it 3 times after, but the recent time I watched it when I was coming back to Ireland and I had to fly, so it's like, oh, it's grand, I'm just going to watch it the whole flight, be locked in the whole time, and I was like, this is brilliant. Like I was like, this is class. Like the cinematography in it is one of the best I've seen in years, and not even just that, the storyline alone and the way they focused a lot on the dark side of DC, which is sometimes really light for superhero movies, which was really nice to see as well. But yeah, definitely in my opinion, it's one of the best, if not the best Batman movie they've made so far. I mean, Dark Knight is up there. It's a very close second, but yeah.
I think the Batman is the best Batman movie, but like overall, like film composition, I don't know. I think the Dark Knight's always up there in like top 10 films of all time, and we're just not seeing Batman gets those. Similar to like what we were talking about last week of like with TV shows as well, like. And trying to like what's like the it doesn't even have to be like your favorite TV show or your favorite film or something like that, but there's like just a general consensus of there's like a good 10 like TV or movies that like everyone should just give a go and watch, like just so because it's like like with Star Wars, like everybody knows Star Wars. I don't love Star Wars, but I've seen Star Wars just so we can talk about Star Wars, like yeah. But yeah, I would really like you to watch Hamilton, man, because I went to see Hamilton twice when they came to Ireland recently on tour, and I've just been like, I forgot how much I loved it as well. Like I when I first watched it a couple of years ago, I really liked it, and I like kept listening to the soundtrack. But like I saw it twice in October and November, and like ever since then I've like been listening to the soundtrack like probably once a week, and I've been getting loads of TikToks about it on my algorithm, and I'm just like I'm proper like bet into it, like
Nerd now.
Yeah, big time. Like I'm proper Hamilton stan. Like I'd love to go. I would love if we ever got the opportunity to go and see it live one day. Did you see Wicked when it was out?
I haven't seen Wicked yet. Nicola watched it, but she wasn't mad about it. Again with the musicals, I'm just not drawn into them. But I really should give them a chance. And it's funny because the Wicked storyline, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's very close and similar to Wizards of Oz. Or no, it's the same.
No, it's not. It's not a similar story. It's a prequel to the Wizards of Oz. So like, the Wicked Witch of the West in the Wizards of Oz. It's basically her origin story and how she became.
Yeah.
That.
Okay. Yeah.
It's an origin story before origin stories were cool, or a prequel. You know the way like
prequels.
There's prequels to like every superhero film now. Like so
literally look at Star Wars. They did it completely backwards.
Yeah, I've only seen the original trilogy for Star Wars.
Yeah, no problem. Like again, like. Star Wars is the thing. Like, you're either invested in it completely, or you think it's okay. I think it's one end of the scale to the other. It's like anything though. Like if it's like if you're into Marvel, you're into them, or you're not really into them. So it's like one end of the scale to the other.
Yeah, I'm like not as like into Marvel as I used to be, just because the quality of the stuff is just really. I think there's two things. One, that they're not producing good enough quality anymore. But two, they've also diluted the brand as well. Like, there's just too much out there. Like, I've kept up on top of it. The only thing I haven't watched from Marvel is like that Werewolf Midnight thing. I don't know. I just was like, I couldn't be arsed watching this. And I didn't watch the second season of What If, and I've kept on top of everything else. And I said this to you before. Like, it was easier just to watch things as they came out week by week for an hour, instead of not watching them and then trying to catch up on like. Three shows that have 8 episodes that are an hour each. Like, I was just like, right, I'm just gonna stay on top, and I don't regret doing that, because honestly, if I hadn't, I would not be like caught up on the MCU at all. Like, like you can't start the MCU now nearly at this point. Like, you're either in it or you're not. It's just there's too much content. There's like 40 plus projects, and it's not even like it's just 40 films where it's like, right, okay, that's 80 hours or 90 hours of watch time. Like, you've got TV shows now, which are like 8 to 10 hours of runtime as well, so you're looking at like 150 hours worth of like film and TV, and it's just not worth it anymore. Like,
my problem with the MCU is like, if you compared both of them now with the amount of work and projects they've made, and if we compare them side by side, I guarantee now there is more shit cinema than actual good cinema. And I'm not including like the Avengers and everything like that, but I mean the amount of movies and the stuff they're putting out, it's so bad. Like, I went on a rant last night again to Nicola about Morbius and Madam Web. Like, they are both terrible movies. Like, terrible movies. And I was saying I'd love to put Simone and Nicola in a room and make them watch the movies back to back and see if they were be annoyed as us. I think we should do that when you come over. We should force them to like go into a room and watch it when we're recording the podcast.
That's actually a good idea while we're doing the podcast,
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never been. I don't know. Like, Morbius was just like, I don't know. Morbius was terrible, but like Madam Web was like aggressively bad. Like, I felt like my intelligence was being insulted with Madam Web. Like, Morbius was just
more annoying. It's just annoying.
Yeah.
The cinematography is annoying. The camera work is annoying. Me and Shaun left the film like genuinely pissed off. We weren't even like, we paid all that money and it was such a shit movie. We didn't even pay for that ticket. So annoying.
I had a free voucher or something like that. Remember? So we didn't even pay for that ticket, and we still felt ripped off.
Get me a refund now.
I remember we got into your car, like we walked out, and I was like, oh man, that was like horrific, and that was shite, blah blah, and you were like, I don't know, and like the more we just sat on it, I think we ended up sitting outside my gaff, and we were in your car for half an hour going, that film was fucking dreadful, oh my god, and like just started like raving about the whole thing, like, well, not raving, sorry, giving out about the whole thing. Raving would be a good thing.
Yeah, it would be a good thing.
Yeah, like it was just, yeah, and then Madam Web, like we knew, like, I try not to talk during films. Like, I don't want to be that guy, but I remember at one point me and you just looking at each other going, what the fuck is going on here?
Film makes absolutely no sense. And it's the way it's portrayed, like, per scene is so bad. It's just a bad movie, a really bad.
I just can't believe they watched that back and said, yeah, let's release that. You know, less so with Morbius. Like Morbius is really bad, but it's not like as aggressively insultingly bad. You know, it's kind of stupid at times, and you know, it's one of the worst films I've ever seen. But it's not like, you know, it's Sony as well. So you know, you have to take that. But even for Sony, Madam Web was like, oh my god, like what the hell? Like you need to cop on here.
Every time I watch these movies, I'm always like, who's writing this script? I'm like, I could easily write a better script. Every time I watch like a terrible movie, I'm like that. I'm like, you get some 11-year-old kid who's obsessed with superheroes. I'm telling you now, they write a better script than that. Because the way they portray the characters, like compared to the comics, because Madam Web is a character that's very well known in the comics. And like it's portrayed a lot into the Spider Universe as well. The way that they portrayed the three characters in the movie was so bad, so bad.
Speaking of which, did you see Spider-Verse has been delayed again?
Yes,
2029.
And I only watched Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse last week, and man, to this day, back to back, they're 2 for 2. I'm really like, please take your time. Do not mess up the third one. I was saying to Nick, like, I'm praying that they go 3 for 3. Because they're just, lads, if you haven't seen them, the animation is just amazing. In the second one, I was in awe again watching it about the animation. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's like, it's like it's a visual feast. Like, even if you don't like Spider-Man, you don't like superhero films, it just looks incredible. Like, it's just a great looking film, you know. So like I remember sitting down and getting my auntie to watch it on like Christmas Day or Stephen's Day a couple of years ago when I was in our house. It was just on Netflix, and like me and my cousin had seen it, and we were like, oh my god, I've not seen this. And then like my little cousins were there as well. We're like, gonna stick this on. And even she was like, right, I didn't really like the film because she's just not into superhero films or whatever, but she's like, it looked really good, like, you know. So like, you know, at least it's like it's one of those films where like that's the only negative review I've ever heard for the film. Like the story is incredible as well. To it, same guy's done the Lego films as well.
Oh, Lego movies are class. If anyone hasn't seen Lego Batman, is hilarious.
Oh, man. The Lego Batman is one of the funniest films I've ever seen.
So funny. There's so many adult innuendos as well in the movie. It's so funny, man. I was wondering, how was your week?
Busy, really busy. I was a bit stressed out on work, and then just like going. So we rehearsals on Monday. We did a last minute gig on Tuesday. We only got asked to play the gig like 2 or 3 days before, and luckily all the lads were free. So we went to do the gig on Tuesday. Office then on Wednesday, and Thursday Chelsea game, and last night I was out at a gig as well. So busy week. I've got a nice weekend now of like just nothing, and I need like a proper recharge. I've had a really busy couple of weeks.
Sometimes like at the weekend, you just need like a recharge and just to do nothing.
Yeah, like I'm like after we do this, I'm like jumping in the car. We're going to Aldi. We're doing the shop, and I like don't intend on doing much else for the rest of the weekend. Like, you know,
just flaking out.
Yeah, but it's been bit manic. You know, I just I feel I need a bit of breathing room. You know.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah,
adult life.
Yeah, big time. Like I'm at the stage now where like I need to like add a bit of like a bit of tomfoolery into my week, so to speak. Like what I'm doing is like I'm waking up before work. I found that like I was like I got into a bad habit of waking up like 8:15, just jumping in the shower and just going straight into work, which is like I work from my office, like, you know. But I wasn't giving myself any like breathing room or any time to actually kind of wake up. So what I'm doing now is I'm trying to get up at like 8:45, 8ish. Like just get up those few minutes earlier, have my shower, have like a proper breakfast, and I'm watching Yu-Gi-Oh! GX in the mornings.
Class.
Just cause.
Class.
I don't know what it is. Like once a year I'll go through like a intense Yu-Gi-Oh! Phase for like 2 or 3 months. Like I'll rewatch some of the anime. I've got a couple of cards there, and I'll just like get a bit into. Like I nearly bought a structure deck on Amazon last night. I don't need the structure deck. I don't even play Yu-Gi-Oh. It's just more just to look at, like, you know.
I want to collect. I was only talking to my mate there last week. I really want to start collecting Yu-Gi-Oh cards again. I have a couple of Yu-Gi-Oh cards here as well, that I brought over from back at home, and then I actually got a pack for Christmas because one of the girls heard that I was thinking about. So I was thinking about looking into that. But it's more. I watch Yu-Gi-Oh, like Finn says, like maybe every couple of years, just to a refresher, because it's just a comfort. It's like a nostalgia thing from when I was a kid, and I played a little bit when I was in the PLC on the phone and stuff. But I'm not like highly invested in it. I would just love to like open it up and be like, oh yeah, do you remember that card? And remember this character and stuff.
Yeah, I got really into the mobile game, the Duel Links game, like 2 years ago or something like that. I was bet into it, so it genuinely is so good. And the only reason I'm not into it anymore is because when I changed my phone, for some reason it doesn't sync up with, like, you know, like Apple Game Center. You don't log into that through your Apple Game Center. So when I changed my phone, I basically had to start again. I'd know, like, all my decks and stuff were gone. I had like 4 or 5 like really strong decks. Like I was fairly confident I could beat most people, like, you know, because I was doing it quite a lot, like on my way to and from college and stuff, like, you know, so like it was taking me 2 hours to get to and from college, so I'd spend like half an hour playing Yu-Gi-Oh, which is like, it duels like in Yu-Gi-Oh now only last like 2 minutes, if even.
They're
so you'd get through that, you'd go through online stuff fairly quickly. And then when I like saw that like all my progress was lost, I was like, and I upgrade my phone every second year anyway. So I'm like, oh, I'm not getting into this just to have the same thing happen to me in 2 years' time, like, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have a couple of like just basic like structure decks and stuff. You can buy them. You can buy them cheap enough on Amazon. Like, now you're not gonna get at and like mad, but like you'll get like a Blue Eyes structure deck, and you'll get a Dark Magician structure deck, and like you can buy yourself the Egyptian God cards and stuff for like, they're like 20 quid each or something like that. Like not just the card, like the deck. You know, so you get like 40 cards. And that will like, so I feel like that suffices. Like, you know, you'll be like, okay, grand, I have Blue Eyes, I have Dark Magician, I have the 3 Egyptian Gods, and I have Dark Magician Girl. Go. What a baddie. every boy's first love was Dark Magician Girl.
Yeah. Oh. Goddamn. Nerding out right now, lads.
Yeah, for sure.
As you should. I was wondering, do we have any polls from last week? I actually can't remember.
The polls are going up to, so today's post is the polls, so we don't have any results for this recording, but we will next week.
Lovely.
That was just me not thinking when I scheduled everything that I should have put that first, because I was just like, I always do the polls as the last one of the week by default, you know.
The one thing I like about this podcast though, it's like, because we started it really off the cuff 1 week, like, because we'd always talked about it for so long, and then when we finally got to doing it, it wasn't this like planned structured thing. Like, I didn't even have a mic at the time, I didn't even have AirPods. Like, I was playing everything from my computer audio on now, and now we've got a mic stand. Like, we have like a structured in the group chat, and it's like every week we're just like continually upgrading it. I don't know, which is nice. Like,
but that's I felt we were doing that for a while. Like, we were kind of like procrastinating starting it properly, like, you know,
so
we wanted it to be perfect, because we've literally been talking about doing this for like 2 years, you know.
But,
and like seriously, big time. Like, it would come up like every second time that we were out doing that, and like, you know, because like we do what we just did there and just talk about films and talk about random shite as well, and you know, just like it would be like, this would be really good to listen into, or like other people have said to us as well, like especially our partners being like, you two just need to start a podcast, because like, you just don't shut the fuck up, and it's a good like background.
Still don't.
I hope this is in the background of somebody taking a shit, wiping their arse. Yeah. It's bringing you pleasure. I hope it is, you know.
An easy wipe. Yeah. A ghost wipe. Oh, the best.
Man, that's what I do for that, is the Fozcast. I love Ben Foster's podcast.
Oh, Ben Foster, yeah. Shout out to GK.
Shout out to GK, yeah. Oh, that's like,
if he wants to get us on.
Big time. Like, yeah, so we have Premier League goalkeeper with over 400 appearances, Ben Foster, and then with these 2 lads from Blanche. Yo, Blanche.
Come on. Yo, Ben. Ex-United.
Speaking of which, you know, on the topic of, like, you know, our socials and stuff, my topic that I was going to bring up for this week, guys, me and Imran have a list of stuff here that, like, since before the podcast has started, we've been throwing ideas into this, and to be honest, we've covered a lot of them just by being the wafflers that we are, you know. Because like we've got down here like ranking Burger Kings in each city. We've kind of done that, public transport, TV shows, fast food lists, talking about the cinema, talking about Marvel. Like, we've genuinely ticked off so many of these without actually like being like, let's go over to the list. So today I'm actually going over to the list, just to start ticking these off basically. And I was wondering your thoughts in general. You can be as blunt about this, or you can talk as much about this on social media, and what your favorite platforms are, what you like about social media, what you don't like about social media, and all that jazz.
As a whole?
Yeah, as a whole. Like, I feel like social media has it's become like such an integral part of society now. Like, you know, it's like it's weird. It's not weird, but it's unusual if somebody doesn't have an Instagram or some sort of like public profile to be like, yeah, maybe even just like give your thoughts on, like, you know, each platform and like what you use each platform for, like, you know.
Okay, I'd say like overall, the app I would use the most would be Instagram, just for reels, and I actually text a lot of my friends on that now. And then I'm really into Letterboxd, especially for movie suggestions. A WhatsApp. I am a huge WhatsApp user now. I've full on developed from the childhood of Snapchat to WhatsApp. Like, that is like, once you hit like somewhere in your 20s, you gotta make that jump to WhatsApp.
Yeah, man, Snapchat's dead, isn't it?
Snapchat is dead, man. If you're in your 30s and you're using Snapchat, you need to have a good look at yourself. Good look at yourself. Like that mirror is judging you.
Snapchat is so, like, it's at the point now where like Snapchat are like sending me messages every like 2 or 3 days, like from Team Snapchat, you know, and it's literally just to get me into the app. I went so long that I didn't go into Snapchat that it uninstalled itself from my thing, and like I was texting Carla one of the days, and like I was just talking to her, and we were about to meet up, and she was like, "Yeah, I texted you about this in Snapchat like 2 days ago," and I was like, "What?" And I went in and I had like 20 snaps, because like it had been like 3 or 4 months since I'd gone into Snapchat, like, you know, and I felt so bad, because like there was people texting me, looking at me for stuff for like that day and that week, and it just looked like I completely ignored them, you know.
The only reason the only reason I still have Snapchat downloaded is for people that do use it, that are my mates, and they only want to text me on that platform. So what I'll do is like I'll make it like once a week I'll go on to Snapchat just to text them back, or I'll text them and be like, I'll text you on WhatsApp, or I'll text you on Instagram.
Yeah.
But I mean, social media as a whole, I do think it's a good thing. I think, especially if look at our situation right now, we wouldn't be able to be in contact with each other if it wasn't for we would be able to with Zoom and stuff and email and stuff. But I mean, like,
do old school, go on to a Skype call.
Yeah, Skype call. Shout out to Skype. Look, there's two sides to it. There's one side where there's a benefit that you can stay in contact with family and friends, and, you know, find out about TV shows, send your mates funny memes. A lot of people get their news now from social media as well.
Yeah, I don't watch the news. I only get news from social media.
Yeah, I stopped listening to the news during COVID because it was just so negative. I think if you're reading something negative all the time, your brain just starts developing that dopamine, that you're just constantly in a sad mood. I don't know. That's another topic we won't get into right now.
We're swaying towards conspiracy theories.
Oh, don't even get me started there.
No, I agree. I agree. Like, I'm the same. I don't actively like seek out the news. I just like I let the news come to me, you know.
But there's a lot of things that are really bad with social media as well, though.
Yeah,
I think like the constant need for attention, the constant need for approval. It's different if you're chasing something. Like, I understand the musician posting about what they do, what they love, because they're trying to they're trying to push a motive for themselves in a broader community. But I mean, for example, there is times where I see lads and girls online and they're doing everything to just seek attention, or they're taking pictures of everything they're doing on a day-to-day basis, like literally start to finish every single day, and you're like, where is like your values and where you're living. You're like genuinely like, just go to the shop and buy yourself a chicken roll. You don't need to record yourself going to the shop and buying a chicken roll.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
But,
I'm the same. I'm the same, and even like it's mad because like on my music page, like I'm really, really active. Like I wouldn't often go. I post usually at least 2 or 3 times a week. Like, you know. But like on my personal accounts, I don't post that, and like I used to be like that on my music page. I used to be like, I'm not posting that unless I've anything to say, like, you know. But like, it's just like it's part of the music industry now. You have to do it, and like I don't mind doing it. Like I don't mind editing videos. I don't mind making content and stuff, like, you know. But like I used to make stuff that I think the reason I really like what I make now. I really like the music and the content that I make. But it's because I kind of take that attitude of like, I want to do this for myself. So I don't want to make videos of me doing stuff I don't want to do. Like, you know, whereas like I see a lot of artists around my size that are kind of just chasing fame. And they're just trying to do what the trending thing is. Like, you know, and don't get me wrong, I don't mind jumping on trends. But I'll only do it if I think it actually suits what I'm doing. Like, you know. But yeah, and like it's my job. Like what I do is my day job as a social media manager as well. Like, you know, so I do think social media has a lot more positives than negatives. But some of the negatives and the way some people use social media is like really, really worrying. And I do feel it needs to be regulated in some ways. Like I think there's certain platforms like Twitter has become really bad for. I love Twitter, and I will die on this hill step that Twitter is the best social media platform. It's so funny, and like I remember one of the best days of my life was the day the Queen died, and I spent like the whole evening on Twitter, and it was just the memes that were coming out of it were unreal. Which, you know, when you look at that in a black and white perspective, a woman has died, and the Irish internet is making fun of it, right?
I don't care.
I get it's not the most moral thing. I get that, but it was incredible. But like also the way people band together in communities on that app can be quite lovely as well. Like it's got it. The problem is it's such a free speech platform, but then you also have a lot of right wing racist idiots on that platform as well. Like, and Facebook has become really bad for that as well.
Facebook, yeah, I was only going to say that.
Facebook has become like a like right wing redneck mom and dad kind of thing. In the majority of cases, like I don't use Facebook at all anymore. Like I literally log on, post something on my music page, and log off. I don't actually ever really go on. I don't ever really scroll on my Facebook feed anymore. Like, you know, and even like I find with work, and I'm looking at clients, and there's some comments that are coming in from people, and like they're all like people like men and women 40 plus that are just saying some of the most rotten, disgusting, racist, or just insulting things to, like, you know, people on the page about people in the video and stuff. Like, man, like honestly, who has the time to be fucking to be thinking about this and then typing it out and then posting it publicly for everybody to see?
Facebook is genuinely a platform for mad to complain about loaves of bread. I'm not joking. I see so much shit on there. Like I seen like last week, some man was complaining about that her kid fell over in the schoolyard and the teacher didn't help her up, and that our school systems is shocked, and Ireland's the worst country in the world, and you have to be careful of it. Like, they just start going on a tangent about everything that's going on in their life, and you're like, me, why are you doing this on social media? Go talk to your mate, like, if it's that big of a deal, like, or go talk to the school.
Sticking up at the hospital as their location, being like, don't ask, had a rough day.
Literally, like, come on, like,
nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah. Also,
like it'd be like they literally fall and scrape their knee or something like that as well. Like, you know, it's always over nothing. Like, but yeah, so you've got that. You've got LinkedIn as well, which I know you're more of a newer member to LinkedIn. LinkedIn's it's just so formal, you know.
LinkedIn now is the only way you're getting a job. LinkedIn is like really high on getting a job. I wouldn't even have had a job here in Switzerland if it wasn't for LinkedIn, because I applied for the position. I know I went in after, but that position wouldn't have been available because I was the first person to click into it when I went into the pub. So when they put that position up on the Thursday, I applied for it, and then the following week I came to Tuam and I went down to the pub, and they were like, "Oh, you're the lad that applied on the LinkedIn account." So There, for example, if that wasn't there,
taking application. Like I would consider like LinkedIn jobs more like kind of like office 9 to 5 corporate kind of world. I wouldn't.
Yeah, of course.
Like that was.
It's not
like,
just that though. Yeah.
Hiring like.
Yeah, but you think about it in Ireland though. There's so many places like Marks and Spencers would be one that I know that does it through LinkedIn. Eurospar sometimes came up. Centra. So like there is, I think that's the good thing I like about LinkedIn though, because you've got like broads of different jobs. You know, you've got like really low entry jobs where you don't need a degree or anything, and then you've got like high entry jobs where you can go in with a degree or what you've like done in college, for example, like social media, for example, and then you can really.
Do you ever look at yourself in the mirror sometimes and go, "Who the fuck gave you a degree?"
Yeah,
like to yourself, like I have my degree up there, and I'm like, who's responsible for this? Like, who said, "Do you know what, that fella gets a degree"? Because honestly, I'm a thick.
I always say this: you could be an absolute. You could have done 5 years of school, like college, 5 years, have a master's and everything, but you're deep down, you're still a spastic.
There's some people that are just. I
don't make the rules.
That are just like book smart, and there's some people that are just a bit more. I don't want to say street smart, but like they just have a bit of cop on, and like they can read human interactions or read social interactions a bit better. It depends on like I can, be a bit of both. Like sometimes I'm like it depends on the topic and depends on like how much of a tangent that I'm going on. That like if
all the
time. Yeah, as everything in the podcast well now, like. Once you get me rolling on something, like it'll be a good 10 minutes before you get something. Like he
ends up literally rolling.
Sorry, this Zoom meeting has to end soon. Sorry. That's why, like sometimes, like on our morning calls and work, like I just shut up because if I start talking, I know I'm not going to stop.
You just know it's going to go off.
Come on, just say I'm just going tick tick.
The time period, like that.
Fergie time.
Yeah, Fergie time.
But yeah, I like Instagram. I love TikTok as well. I can't believe you're still not on TikTok. The amount of reels you send me.
Two apps I've never joined is Twitter and TikTok.
Twitter, and they're the two best ones, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah, and I probably never will. It's funny though because I complain to Nicola like, "Oh, I'm not on TikTok," or when she sent me, "Oh, look at this," and I'm like, I spend so much time on reels anyway on Instagram that it would make no difference if I got TikTok. You know what I mean? Like all the reels that I see,
in the sense that you'll see the stuff that you're sending me.
I knew you were gonna say this. I knew you
send me stuff, and like I feel bad because like I know you send me this stuff, and I'm just like, oh, he's just trying to be said. But like I just find it hard to reply. That's why I just
appreciate that I'm your mate, and I went down my time.
But then I'm the opposite then, where like I have stuff that I want to send you, and then I can't send it to you because you're not on TikTok.
If I pulled up my Instagram right now, all the memes that Finn sends me are just 9/11 memes. It's just like 100 9/11s, and I'm seeing like all of them like 50 times already, and then I just like okay, like some of them are really funny though.
Speaking from experience.
Yeah. My dad's still alive.
Alright, flex.
So's yours.
Wait, did you say da or ma?
Da.
I thought you said ma.
Oh. Good end to the podcast, guys. See you next week.
That's a great way to finish the podcast. 9/11 and Sean's ma's dead.
I just want to say as well, this is now, I know people know this already, but we're live on YouTube.
Yeah.
We posted a bit about it. I think people keep forgetting it, but if you want to see our pretty faces, we're on YouTube.
Yeah, we are on YouTube all the time. It gets uploaded the same time as the Spotify, 6 a.m. On Irish time, 7 a.m. CET every week. So, yeah, if you fancy watching us, we actually do have to wrap up now. We're on our less than a minute on our free Zoom call. So, you can check us out. We have a TikTok page, even though Imran's not logging into it, and an Instagram page. And yeah, you can email us at thedistancelimitpod@gmail.com if you want us to talk about that in particular. I'll check that like before we start recording most weeks. So yeah, we'll wrap it up here. Thanks very much for tuning in again, guys, and we'll see you next week. I'll hand you over to Imran.
Thanks, guys. Again, I'll always say loving the support, and we'll see you next week.
Goodbye and God bless.
Ciao.